We're going to talk about their looks, their design, their entertainment, and how they lead up head to head. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Spying with Erin D. We're back for Disney's Heroes vs. Villains series, and this week we have two villains up against each other. The Queen of Under the Sea, as I like to call her, that is the Sea Witch Ursula, versus the very manipulative, very cunning, kind of smart, mad scientist, Professor Zundapp. I just call him the Professor. He's from Cars 2. I really like the Cars movies. My nephews are obsessed with it. But Ursula is from one of my very favorite childhood movies, and that would be Little Mermaid, and Ursula is one of my top villains. So this was really hard for me. I mean, come on. My nephews love Cars, but I am nostalgic about Little Mermaid. So this week, really difficult for me to choose, so I cannot wait to see who you guys choose in the comments below. So let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about Ursula and her look. I mean, this witch has a layer that just Maleficent would be jealous of. I mean, from all her potions down there to the sea earths, I forget what they're called, but her friends down there, if you can call them friends, and the little flowers that aren't flowers, it's really creepy. But she is beautiful in her black denims and how she transforms from this ugly looking witch. I'm sorry, Ursula, but the ugly witch to trick Prince Eric into falling for her with her brunette hair, and she becomes this beautiful looking person, and she has stolen Ariel's voice, so she sounds amazing. And then we go into Professor, and I really think this car is really cute looking. When I first saw him, I did not understand he was going to be our villain. And I love his glasses. I think it's a magnifying glass for the one eye. He's a tiny little car, but he gets into a whole lot of trouble. Or should I say he makes a whole lot of trouble. But he's a tinier car, so he gets in between stops. So when they are chasing him, ooh, it's tough to catch. And that leads us right into our iconic moments. So we're already talking about, so the professor, yes, many iconic moments in Cars 2. I love the scenery. I think it's absolutely stunning. And one of the most iconic moments, in my opinion, for the professor is when he ends up getting caught. In the very end, he goes through a chase. And because he's little, he can get through a lot of little odd places in the chase. And that's really fun to watch. And you get to see the scenery. I particularly like seeing the London Bridge. And they have a tough time catching him. And for a little car, he really, when they first whip out the string or the rope to try and catch him, he really pulls that other car with him for a little car. It takes them a minute to get him, or it takes that one car, which is quite much bigger than him. Should be much easier to catch him, but he's quite strong. So I think that's his iconic moment.
Hurry, Professor! Do you really think I'm going to let you float away, Professor? Give it up, McMissile!
Now for Ursula, I don't know how anybody can think anything other than this moment for Ursula, it is when she sings Poor Unfortunate Soul. To me, that's her iconic moment. I love when Ursula sings Poor Unfortunate Soul. I mean, even as a child, I thought the song was really catchy. I know she's our villain, but man, they gave her a good song. And I think that's the most iconic moment for her. I do like the battle scene in the end with her as well. Um, I don't think she goes down easily in this fight.
Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. This one longing to be thinner, that one wants to get the girl, and do I help them? Yes, indeed. Those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. They come flocking to my cauldron crying, "Spells, Ursula, please," and I help them. Yes, I do. Now it's happened once or twice. Someone couldn't pay the price, and I'm afraid I had to rake 'em across the coals. Yes, I've had the odd complaint, but on the whole, I've been a saint. To those poor unfortunate souls. Now, here's the deal.
I think that's kind of interesting. Both our villains are really strong in the end. They really, they don't give up easily. Do you agree with me? Do you think they're both a little bit of a fighter? And we talk about their design now. We've talked about their iconic moment. Let's talk about their abilities. Professor's ability is his smarts. You gotta give it up. This little car is a genius. He's cunning, he's manipulative, and he's smart. I think that's why he got so far with his brains. Ursula has her potions, and yes, her magic is in the potions, and that's part of her abilities, but I think manipulation is her strongest ability because she really has to manipulate all these souls to capture them. And Ariel, I couldn't believe she fell for it, but she did because she really wanted Eric.
Alright, now we're going to break it down with a little pros and cons list for each character. Starting with Ursula from The Little Mermaid. The pros: dark magic. She wields terrifying Atlantean spells, potions, and the ability to transform into a giant. Master manipulator. She traps victims into binding contracts by using their own deepest desires against them. Showstopper. Her theatrical personality and commanding presence allow her to dominate every scene she is in. The cons: overconfident. She tends to underestimate insignificant enemies like Prince Eric because of her massive ego. Waterbound. Her power is supreme in the ocean, but she has limited mobility compared to land-based villains. Professor Zundapp from Cars 2. The pros: tactical genius. He plans complex schemes and traps that manage to stay one step ahead of international spies. Advanced tech. He utilizes electromagnetic pulse (EMP) camera to disable opponents without ever touching them. Calculated. He never lets his emotions get in the way of the mission, remaining cold and efficient at all times. His cons: physically weak. As a small vintage microcar, he cannot fight physically and relies entirely on weapons or henchmen. Just a henchman. He ultimately takes orders from someone else, lacking the true independence of a main villain like Ursula.
Head to head, let's talk about it. Who would win? Is it the brains of the professor, or is it the manipulation of Ursula? I think they're both really smart, but Ursula does got a lot of potions. So, but who do you believe? I can't wait to read all your comments. I'm sorry, Dave and Daniel. I really want Chorus to win because the professor win because that's, your cars. But Ursula, come on, you gotta give it to me. The witch is strong and cunning. Let me know what you guys are all thinking in the comments below. I cannot wait to read them and on our post page. And as always, find a reason to smile today. Bye, everybody.